Policies are a cornerstone of managing Mac computers with Jamf Pro. At some point in your time as a Jamf Pro administrator, if you have enrolled Mac computers, you will need to use a policy. Policies can be used to deploy packages, software updates, scripts, printers, accounts, and even terminal commands to enrolled Mac computers. My name is Jeremy. Let's learn how to create, configure, and deploy a policy from Jamf Pro. I've been tasked with deploying an administrator account to all enrolled computers in my organization. This account will only be for our IT techs to use for support calls, so the account name and credentials can be the same across the entire fleet. While I could manually go meet with each employee and create the account at their desk, this is a great opportunity to use a policy and deploy the account to everyone at the same time. In Jamf Pro, navigate to Computers and Policies. Click New in the top right to create a fresh policy. As with all policies, we must configure the general payload. Start by entering an appropriate display name. I'm using Create IT Admin Account, and assign a category if desired. Next, we need to choose a trigger and execution frequency to set when and how often this policy will run. I'm selecting the recurring check-in checkbox for the trigger since I'd like this policy to run as soon as possible. I'm also selecting once per computer for my execution frequency to ensure the admin account is only created once on each computer this policy runs. Now that we have the general payload configured, let's move on to the contents of this policy. From the payload list on the left, select Local Accounts and click Configure. This aptly named payload lets us perform various management tasks related to local user accounts for computers. At the top, we have options to create a new account, reset an account password, delete an account, or remove a local account's ability to unlock File Vault. Let's leave Create New Account selected and then populate the information about this account. Give the account a username and full name. I'm using IT-admin and IT-admin, and enter a password for the account. The last required field on this page is Home Directory Location, asking us to specify a location on the computers for this user's directory. Since this is an account for IT only, I won't place the home directory with all other accounts in the highly visible /users directory. Instead, let's tuck this home directory away in a more secluded location on the computer by entering /private/var/IT-admin. The final item to configure in this payload is the checkbox for Allow User to Administer Computer. I want my IT techs to have full access to these computers when troubleshooting, so I'm selecting that checkbox to ensure the account being created has administrator privileges. Great! We've got this payload configured. Note the X and plus buttons in the top right. If we wanted to, we could use the plus to add more local accounts to this payload, or remove them with the X button. Many payloads allow for multiple configurations of the same payload within a single policy. Look for this plus button if that's your goal. We're just deploying the single local account with this policy, so we can leave those buttons alone. From the list of payloads on the left, select Maintenance and then Configure. By default, the Update Inventory checkbox is already selected. When this policy runs and the local account is created, it will immediately relay that new information back to Jamf Pro, rather than waiting until the next time the weekly Update Inventory policy runs. For many policies, it can be helpful for admins to add an inventory update to the policy content in order to make sure Jamf Pro always has the most up-to-date information. However, be cautious of adding inventory updates to policies that run frequently, as inventory submission is a resource-intensive task. In larger environments, this can cause issues if every enrolled computer is constantly trying to submit inventory. With the inventory update added, let's move on to the Scope tab to assign this policy to all computers enrolled in Jamf Pro. For a refresher on Scope, check out our video linked in the resources. Let's change the target computer's pop-up menu from Specific Computers to All Computers, and then click Save to deploy the policy. We can monitor the status of the policy by clicking Logs at the bottom of the page. Alternatively, we can also add a widget for this policy to the Jamf Pro dashboard using the checkbox at the top right. If we select that checkbox and then return to the dashboard, we now have a policy status section with a progress card for this policy. After some time has passed, we can check our work on one of the enrolled computers. If I navigate to System Settings and Users and Groups, I can see that this computer now has an IT admin account created and ready for my IT techs to use in the future. This is just one example of the many workflows that are available using policies in Jamf Pro. Check out the Jamf Pro documentation links in the resources for more information, and be sure to keep practicing and experimenting with policies in your environment. Thanks for watching.